Okay. Far be it from me to ever rant about inaccuracies ever said in the arena of photography. Well, wait a minute. I think I'm somewhat famous for that. Continuous lighting. This video is correcting some inaccuracies I recently heard somewhere. Continuous lighting, which we're basically talking about LED lighting, unless we're talking about the ginormous bulbs used back in the day for continuous lighting in photography, which nobody uses anymore. So we are basically talking about light-emitting diode light versus xenon tube light. Now, it doesn't matter if it's a speed light or a studio strobe, of which I have many. We're talking about LEDs versus xenon. A lot of inaccuracies that people keep throwing around about, and most people don't know how to use a strobe. But I'm kind of have a pet peeve when people start, praising LED lighting over that of a stroboscopic or xenon. It basically talking about xenon tube, whether that be speed light or studio strobe. Yeah, continuous lighting has countless issues, and let's just talk about the facts, okay? Not opinions. And a couple things I heard somebody say. Continuous lighting is 1,000% useless for event photography, for wedding photography, sports, action, wildlife. Useless. So we're talking about xenon tube versus LED lighting here. Okay? Continuous lighting has white balance issues that xenon tubes never have. Continuous lighting generically sucks. Why does it suck? That's just your pathetic opinion, right? Mine? No, it's not. You get no saturation, you get no subject freezing, you get no double exposure for effects. Continuous lighting needs power, and a lot of power. Even this, and you can't see it right now, but I'm looking at, and it's just outside of frame, 1,300 watt seconds. The White Lightning 3200. 1,300 watts is so bright, it will just like light up the night sky, like light up. The phone always rings when I'm doing a video, goddammit. It will light up the night sky like the sun came out. With a power pack, I can pop that thing at full power and basically all night long or all day long, depending on when I'm going to use it. Continuous lighting has... I jumped. Someone's actually going to comment on how I jumped when the phone rang. I should kind of expect that. Someone always calls me when I'm in the middle of doing a video. So you get no saturation, you get no double exposure for effects. WYSIWYG, this is what people are always talking about. It's like people are spoiled rotten. I mean, what you see is what you get. Well, with continuous lighting, you got WYSIWYG. You know, what you see is what you get. Yeah, you're getting a lot of crap. You're getting a lot of crap. WYSIWYG. This is for people that are afraid of strobes and speedlights. Here's a comment that I read from someone else that was actually praising continuous lighting versus xenon tube lighting. Well, with the flash, you don't know what you're getting. Actually, you do. Even if you're really lazy, you can set your speed light for TTL. And there's this neat little invention that came around a few decades ago. It's called a light meter. But the same person that was actually praising continuous lighting over a xenon tube, these are the same people that said that light meters are throwback technology. Well, interestingly enough, light meters still exist for a really, really important reason. It speeds up. People think, well, you introduce something else you got to screw around with. No, once you learn how to use a light meter, it's very fast. It will actually save you time. You know what looking unprofessional is? Say if you got a camera and a studio strobe. You know what unprofessionalism is when you show up to like a corporate gig? It's like, let me take a shot and review it. It's like, oh, okay. And then you adjust your power output a little bit. And it's like, let me take another shot. You look, even if you're a really good photographer, you look like an idiot with a, and I got 6 or 7 light meters. I didn't bring my light meter out for this video. All you have to do is just take a pop, boom. Okay, it'll tell you your lighting ratios, where you need to set things. Okay, so this is my baseline for my lighting ratios. Well, the person, I don't care who the client is, whether they're a billionaire, millionaire, they're like, dude, this uses the light meter. This dude knows what the hell is going on. This guy's got the studio strobe, he's got a light meter. I've never seen anybody use a light meter anymore. Light meters actually speed things up. People actually incorrectly think that when you use a light meter, that it slows things down. It actually does the opposite. Because you just pop it off. With the modern advanced light meters actually have an interior, have a trigger like my Sekonic does, my new Sekonic. It actually triggers the white lightning connected to my studio strobes, and it will tell me exactly how I need to tweak it. So I'm going to take a baseline, pop off the studio strobe, adjust my camera. It tells me what my lighting ratios are, meaning ambient versus artificial illumination, i.e. the studio strobe. Make my settings immediately. Okay? So, as this person actually said, strobes, you have to fine-tune the lighting and do trial and error. No, you don't. That is a lie. That's what a light meter is for. So this same person said, with a flash, you don't know what you're getting. It's like, yeah, you do. You do. So these are incorrect statements. What is continuous lighting good for? Obviously for video. Obviously when it comes to video use, we got LED lighting. And of course when it comes to video, even and I'm not a videographer by any means. I don't even pretend to be a video. I hate video. Hate video. The professional videographers will all tell you, I mean the hardcore professional, that really, really good Kelvin white balanced lighting that maintains that balance is expensive. I mean the cheap sort of Chinese crap like this, while it's effective enough, no. The consistency, like when it warms up, the actual Kelvin value changes as opposed to when you turned it on and first started using it. All the professional videographers will tell you this stuff is... Continuous lighting is good for basically two things. 10 feet or less in video. Everything else, I'm sorry, you know. I'm sorry that strobes and speed lights are not WYSIWYG, meaning what you see is what you get. I mean, you look through the viewfinder, everybody's lazy today. It's like, oh my God, I love my EVF. Well, your EVF doesn't tell you, and there's no camera on this earth that can tell you how your shot's going to look with a studio strobe or a speed light. But I mean, if you teach yourself how to use a trial and error, how to use a speed light, how to use a studio strobe, buy yourself a cheap light meter like a Minolta 4F, same light meter that I still have from photography school from back from 1991. You know, they go for like $100 on eBay. If you get yourself a studio strobe, get yourself a light meter, learn how to use it. You know, buy a dummy head on eBay. You know, like the hairdresser's heads? Okay, set up the hairdresser's head. Sit there and trial and error out the studio strobe, the octabox, the softbox, whatever light mod you actually have for the studio strobe, or the speed light. Learn how to use the light meter. Learn what lighting ratios are. Ratio of ambient versus artificial light. What you introduce determines exactly where your ambient is. If you want to kill off your ambient, you know, you can kill off your ambient. You can teach yourself very quickly how to kill off the ambient. Or if you can keep the ambience, whatever you want the shot to look like. But this sort of, I found that video shocking, but I've seen many videos like that where people are praising continuous LED lighting. Or just say LED lighting. Okay, LED lighting sucks ass. It's useless for it's useless for everything except for video and like 12 feet or less head or body shots. Say, oh my God. And of course, there are people out there that are paid shills. They are literally endorsed and reimbursed shills for continuous lighting gear. Rotolight. Rotolight. Excuse me, I had something caught in my chest right here. Rotolight. The shortcomings of continuous LED lighting are enormous. The benefits are... Outside of video, if you eliminate out video, and you may be a video person, you know, fine. I'm not a video person. I don't really care about video. I don't even pretend to give a damn about video. But outside of video, continuous lighting sucks. Let's just be totally honest here. Continuous lighting, other than for video, sucks. It sucks. Color balance issues, heat issues, power issues, no damn way. No. Yeah, but I can see what I get. You know, I turn on my continuous LED lighting and I look through my viewfinder. Yeah, use your lazy douchebag. Learn to use your speed light. Learn to use a studio strobe. You get a studio strobe, you can get a light meter. There are other professional photographers that actually tell you stories if people just like get a strobe. It's like, I know how to use a strobe. You know, I sit there, I experiment. If you start doing paid work like that, you're going to look like a dumbass. let me set up my studio strobe. Well, this guy looks professional. It's like, I'm going to take a shot, and you take a shot with your studio strobe. You got all your triggers hooked up. It's like, okay, I'm reviewing the shot here. It's like, oh, no, I don't like that. And you're going to adjust the power on your studio strobe. And then you take another shot and you review it. It's like, yeah, that's getting closer. Let me take whoever you're shooting for. If they're watching you, they're going to like, this guy's an idiot. I never should have hired this guy. Sucks. This is what you buy a light meter for. That's what a light meter is for. The same people. This is the same people. Their exact words a couple of years ago is that light meters are throwback technology. Kind of like something you'd see on Fred Flintstone. No, they're not. The hardcore professionals that use studio strobes also use light meters. It does not slow down your work, it actually speeds it up. It will slow it down if you don't know how to use a light meter and how to interpret lighting ratios and how to interpret what your light meter says. Like my light meter says I need to do this to my camera. Boom, boom, boom. You take another shot, everything's nice and set. Specifically with like the newer Sekonic light meters, you actually set the parameters of the dynamic range of your camera. When you the newer Sekonics, you can profile up to 10 cameras. It's like, I'm going to use this camera today, and you've already programmed in the parameters of the dynamic range of your camera, where the clipping points are for highlights and shadows. Makes things really easy. I mean, you could just fine-tune, right in, you can nail it, just like a professional marksman, you know. Punch the bullseye, if you will, proverbially speaking, with a light meter and a studio strobe. So, this isn't my opinion. Like I said, outside of video, continuous, because everybody always asks, what do you think about rotolight? I said continuous, other than for video, continuous lighting sucks. Well, that's your opinion. No, it's not. It's fact. Continuous lighting sucks for photography. Well, I don't know. So-and-so is doing some pretty good pictures with that continuous lighting. And my answer to that is, compared to what? It's like, imagine what that would have looked if someone actually knew how to use a strobe or a speed light. Saturation would have been better. Dynamic range would have been better. The stop motion, because there's nothing better than stopping the light. You could do, if your ambient is really low, when you got a speed light or a strobe, doesn't matter if your shutter speed's 1 second, because everything is based upon the actual T1 time or flash duration pulse of your speed light or studio strobe. So stop motion is wonderful. There's 10,000 things you could do with a Xenon tube device, be it speed light or studio strobe, that you cannot do with this shit. Ta-da! Yeah! These are fun, they're cool, they're great for macro photography, and they're great for video, but these things suck ass for photography. That's not my opinion, that's the fact. You can either accept it or not. It's not my job to convince people. I'm not a professional brainwasher. You can either accept it or you can learn for yourself that that's the case. Just go out and try it yourself. This was a slightly salty rant. Actually, this isn't that salty. A lot of people think I'm angry. It's like, you're angry! No, I'm not. You haven't even seen me angry. Pray that you never do. Pray that you never do. Some people have seen me angry in real life, like, ooh, damn. Ooh, I better back up. This guy's unhinged. I don't get angry that often. I do have an incredibly low tolerance, however, for incredibly stupid people. Yeah. Said the fat, bald, tattooed guy. Lux e veritas. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice week! Fuji.